Welcome back to Studio F, where on Fast Times with Willy B, we'll be reviewing The Fall Guy. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Hey, Russell?
Welcome back to Fast Times with Willy B. I'm Willy B. I got Kory back. Kory, how are we doing today?
Doing all right. Doing good.
Doing good?
Doing all great.
Doing all good. So today...
That's great and all right. Doesn't get much better than that for a film, does it, Will?
No, it doesn't.
That's what I thought.
Today we'll be reviewing The Fall Guy, the latest film from David Leitch. We know him from Deadpool 2. We also know him from Bullet Train.
Oh,
recent
yeah,
installment.
I forgot about Bullet Train. I love Bullet Train.
So, excited just going into this one because of the director.
Yeah,
then you get to the cast.
Yeah, sure.
Ryan Gosling's our lead. Emily Blunt's right there. We got Aaron Taylor Johnson. We got Winston Duke. We got some cameos here and there. Fun cast. Great cast.
A great cast.
All about it.
IMO. I think there's a good mix of, like, to me, I used to be like, great cast is, you know, like Glass Onion or Knives Out, whatever. You know, where you have a bunch of A-listers, which is still a great cast.
For sure.
Like Avengers Endgame, whatever. Great cast. But I love a good mix of, like, you have some, like even like Ryan Gosling, he's like he's an A-tier celebrity.
For sure.
But, like, you have some people like Stephanie Hsu, it's like, she's probably, like, C or D. And it's like, I think she's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just great casting.
For sure.
I loved everybody in this movie. I love Winston Duke. We'll get there later.
Yeah. So we'll start with the good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good with this film. This is, I'll go off and say it, towards the top. This is the top movie for me of the year so far. But I have a feeling this will have a place to stay towards the top. For not just myself, but for many.
Yeah, sure.
But I would like to say everything about this movie is good, but we'll fully dive into it. And we've already touched on it, the acting.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what you're going to get when you get people like Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Winston Duke. And none of them shied away from their performance in this one.
No.
Ryan Gosling is probably my overall standout, but I really liked Winston Duke in this film.
Me too, man!
Winston Duke was awesome in this movie.
I love Winston
I thought Gosling and Duke's chemistry and on-screen duo was unmatched.
Do you know what I would do to see a film where the main cast is these four people? Ryan Gosling, Winston Duke, Brian Tyree Henry, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson. Because you get the Bullet Train duo. Oh, that's David Leitch, though. I forgot.
Yeah.
Having those four together, oh my God, I would lose it.
Yeah.
Something about those four.
We're just missing one in this movie.
Oh my
just missing
God.
one.
Yeah.
But no, I'd be all for that too. I mean, the Bullet Train, you know, the duo there was a lot of fun. We got Thomas the Train Time. In this one, Aaron Taylor Johnson is obviously more of a supporting character in this film, but Winston Duke and Ryan Gosling were phenomenal together.
Sure.
And that's not to take away from any of the other performances, because I thought Blunt was incredibly well done as well. But
this is one of my favorite performances from her, probably.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just, I mean, anytime Gosling's in a movie, he usually steals a show, but Duke was on his tail. He balled out.
I love Winston Duke. I mean, even in like God, what's that movie? Spencer Confidential, or whatever. Remember that on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg or whatever? Winston Duke is in that. Like, let me tell you what, that's a crap movie.
Yeah.
But Winston Duke is so fun in it.
That's, you know, he kind of takes that comic relief role, and he does it again here, and he does it really well.
He's so good. He's so funny. He's so good, and he can do like serious stuff. Yeah, like I've seen him in Us. In Us, he's still like kind of comic reliefy, but he can kind of do some horror, you know, kind of scared acting. He voiced Batman in Batman Unburied, which is like an audio drama, which I thought he put on a terrific Bruce Wayne.
Interesting.
And then obviously we know him from like Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh yeah,
and you know regular Black Panther, but specifically that one. That movie's sad, and he's great in it.
For sure. No, Winston Duke was awesome. His comedy was very well timed, very well said, very quick-witted, that type of comedy, and I loved every minute of him and Gosling on the screen together.
Yeah, me too, man.
And the action they have together, too. That scene where they're in
the house?
Tom Ryder's house.
That penthouse?
Taylor Johnson's.
Ooh, it's so
and they're in that
good.
penthouse, and he's like, if you're the suspect, that means the goons are on their way.
Yeah.
And they're, like, fighting over fake props. And
there was kind of sometimes it can get cheeky and I don't love it, but in this movie I thought it was pulled off well, which is, like, the fourth wall breaking or, like, the, like, kind of the scream, what is it called whenever you reference, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Where you, like, mention the tropes, even though the trope is in a movie.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of what it's called, but they're like hanging a lantern on all these things, and like I thought it was done pretty well and stuff. But you're right. I know we'll get to I'll wait, but the action is so good in this.
Let's hop into the action.
Okay.
Overall, it's hard to classify the genre of this film. Action, romance, comedy, thriller,
adventure,
yeah, everything in one. But the action is very well done. The choreography is really well done. But in this sequence in particular, I think it's at its best.
Yeah.
And that's when they're in this penthouse, and it's like 2v4, and they just go crazy.
It's pretty terrific in a few areas. And even from the get-go, I could tell, I was like, oh, there's going to be some good action here. Which, like, it's to be expected. It's David Leitch. He's a stuntman. He's been through it. He's a great stunt coordinator and whatnot. But, yeah, specifically that scene. And what I love is, like, they don't hit you over the head 1,000 times with it. But with that gun being a blank, you could tell he has to be crafty with how and when he uses it.
Yeah.
More as, like, a scare tactic. Which is, like, terrific. And then, like, obviously, Winston Duke, he's a bigger guy, so he's got the tomahawk that's rubber.
Yeah.
And then he pretty much kind of just throws it once to do away with it and just strong-arm some people.
Just acts as the brute.
Which also, shout out to David Leitch for casting Winston Duke as, like, a stunt coordinator. Because usually they want, like, a lengthy guy that can move around a bunch and, you know, for stunt choreography. They're like, nah, Winston Duke, that's awesome. He can move, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the action is terrific. There's even a little bit of John Wick, which makes it... There's a little bit of John Wick in there, too. Yeah. Like, even the way he uses the guns is, like, blanks and whatnot. It's just, like, the multiple shots and then a kick or whatever, you know. It's terrific.
Yeah, that scene in particular I love, like you mentioned the blanks already, how it comes around, too. The guy gets the gun, and he pretends to be shot... Yeah. And then comes back up, and the guy realizes they were blanks. But
I remembered in that moment that it was that he had his blank gun. But I was like, man, if I had forgotten that would have been a dope. Like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, I remember
you watch
it too.
There's no blood or anything, and you're like, how did he do? Yeah,
yeah. No, I feel like we both caught it, but I mean,
still fun.
Oh, for sure, very well thought out too as Gosling's character.
Sure.
As Colt Seavers, but. Like you mentioned, it's throughout the whole movie, too. You know, when the first time he goes and hunts down the drug dealer, it's like when we get the first main action outside of the movie action that we get. And, you know, he gets drugged, and we have this really cool fight sequence.
No, that scene was awesome. That's right.
We're watching it in the perspective of somebody that's, you know, high on something.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what he got laced with. Yeah. But he's on these drugs, and he's kicking these goons' ass, and then he chases down the drug dealer, and he, you know, slides down the hill, front flips, gets hit by a car.
I love that you can see that, like, whenever he does, like, the roll down the hill and getting hit by the car, like, they're incorporating the things he knows to do as a stuntman.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting. He knows how to fall. He's jumping from things when he's getting shot at, whatever. And also in that fight scene... That reminded me a lot of, like, I know you haven't seen it yet, but the scene in The Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn where she's kind of, like, you know, she's kind of, you know, she's crazy. So she's imagining, whenever she's going on, like, a sprawl where she's just killing a bunch of people, she's imagining, like, flowers coming out of them instead of, like, blood and stuff like that. It gave me a lot of that, because you'd hit somebody and sparkles or just shooting out of somebody.
That scene was insane.
That was awesome. And all he did was he just used multiple bottles.
Yeah.
To beat the shit out of those guys.
Oh, for sure.
It was awesome.
And then, you know, continuing with the action, this movie's action-packed. You know, we get the boat scene as well. But the third act is basically all action, and it's them trying to clear his name, but using the movie to do it. And, you know, that's when we get the helicopter that you see in the trailer. We get the jump, and it's just action-packed.
Yeah,
and from the start, too.
In the trailer. Oh, yeah, from the start. I was going to say... There's a lot of tension whenever he goes on first day on set to do that stunt where he does the car roll.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And they're filming it, and he's really close, and he hits the camera, and dude, and like seeing the ins and outs of you know, it was awesome too. But it was just like there's a lot of tension there, and him pulling this thing off, and then like the romantic tension with him. You know, it's kind of action, but whenever he's getting thrown into the wall multiple times, and it's so good. It's so good.
For sure.
Leitch can write. too. Yeah, he more than just like doing action stuff. He can freaking write.
He can tell a story. Man.
Yeah,
he can tell a story. This was a hell of a story. Very well written. Very well directed. Mm-hmm. We can jump to the other genre. The comedy was really well done as well. I mean, we kind of already talked about it with Winston Duke.
Funny.
But Ryan Gosling, man.
Oh my God, he's the man. Dude, put him in more comedy stuff. I think Barbie started a good trend, and like people need to realize he is funny.
He plays that really good unintentional funny, and it's intentionally done that way. But he does it in Barbie. He does it in The Nice Guys, where he's just stupid. And it's really funny. And we see it in this movie. I wouldn't say he's stupid in this movie. He's a very intelligent man. But, like, just little things like when he's going to jump to a boat, and he's like, there's got to be stairs. And then he starts getting shot. He's like, nope.
Nope, all right. I guess we're doing this.
And just things like that. That's or, like, great. when he does one of his falls, and he's like, oh. Yeah, he like, gives a thumbs up. Yeah. Like, it's just such an unintentional
so I love that thumbs up thing.
Yeah. He is hilarious. And, he's such a good actor. I mean, he's my favorite actor. At least right now.
Of all actors.
Ryan Gosling's my favorite actor.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting. We've never had a conversation about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. But he just blew me away once again.
He's amazing. And also, like, if you don't know, he's funny off camera, too. Watch his interviews and stuff, especially Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That guy, I don't know why, was on a rampage of making the funniest interviews about the most serious sci-fi movie ever.
He's just a charming guy, too, and charming guys tend to have
he's got charisma, man.
Yeah. They just have an element of comedy to them, too, that just, like, pours out.
Dude, and
you get it on screen. You get it on screen.
He seems humble and nice. Yeah. Really nice.
I would love to meet Ryan Gosling.
I'd love to meet Gosling.
Just like play the show with him.
Oh my God.
But
get me started, dude.
But no, Ryan Gosling and the comedy overall I thought was really well done. And again, it goes back to the writing. And David Leitch, he knows how to write action. He knows how to write comedy. And both this movie and his latest movie, Bullet Train, and Deadpool 2. I mean, those are three prime examples of a guy that can write action and write comedy.
Yeah, and incorporate them really well. Good point. Action, comedy, and romance, to put all those things together, that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's not easy because usually, like, a lot of people, they like one of those elements much more than the others, or even two of them or whatever, and then one of them falls in the background. It's a hard mix to get. It really is.
Yeah.
And also, like, I love Gosling. I do. I can't really tell you who my favorite actor in this is because Emily Blunt is also very good in this.
She is. She is fantastic. There's not a bad performance in this movie because even Aaron Taylor Johnson, I mean...
Yeah, I like seeing him as a bad guy, man. I want to see more of that.
Exactly. In the limited time he's in, I liked seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson as the villain.
Oh, we also didn't mention Hannah Waddingham. Is it Waddingham?
Waddingham.
One of those two.
As Gale, yeah.
Yeah, as Gale. I know her from Ted Lasso. She's one of the main actresses in that. She's so good in that show. And here as well, amazing. Yeah. Honestly, the twist also actually got me pretty good.
Yeah, she's the main part of our twist. The twist in this movie got me too, because she is super convincing.
There's layers to like her plan too. Like to the point where I was like, oh, this makes sense. She's playing one against the other because, or not playing one against the other, but she's playing Gosling into this thing because she's like, well, I need you to save this because the studios are on my ass and like you can get her back. It's a win-win. Like that was enough for me to go, and especially from the trailers. I think they hid stuff in the trailer.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh yeah, you know what? That's it. That makes sense to me. That's it. It's no like the twist.
So much more than that.
So much more than that.
And the whole time she's trying to frame him for murder to clear Tom Reiner, the movie star. Super well done. Again, just goes back to the writing. Yeah. And but no, she played that deceitful, almost charismatic producer as well.
Yeah.
Like she had me convinced like she was a good person, then you're like, oh, she's kind of an asshat.
Yeah, like, she sucks. She sucks on that. Yeah.
But she does it so well.
It's great. So I can't tell who my favorite performance in that is. It's obviously between Gosling and oh my
Duke?
God, no, not what's the Duke?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
Okay.
Good Christ.
No, dude, all around though.
But
phenomenal acting.
My favorite performance might be one that came at the end as a surprise.
Jason Momoa.
And like, look, I'm not one to like really like go crazy about Jason Momoa or whatever.
Yeah.
Like but I do love him. Yeah. I think his personality's fun. He seems like a charming guy. And obviously I loved him as Aquaman. I'm like, this is the best case scenario for this fucking character that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Right? But God damn, he is funny in this movie for the limited time he's
in it for like 30 seconds.
And you were funny. Dying in the theater.
He replaces Tom Ryder, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, and just when we see the trailer to Metal Storm, the movie that Emily Blunt's been directing this entire movie, the movie inside the movie.
Yeah.
We just get yeah.
He's so basically they took Tom Ryder and he wants to be the super serious cowboy actor or whatever, and they're like, you know what, if we're gonna get Momoa, this is true, if you're gonna get Momoa, you gotta let Momoa
go over the top,
like in like Dune, those are my faves, right? He's not as over the top, but you still get him doing like big hugs and comedy and whatever and stuff that's not even really in that character in the books that I liked a lot more in the movies. But in this, they're like, you gotta let Momoa do Momoa. So as he's got this like bayonet alien sword, every chop he's just hitting him with a yeah, and then at some point he hits him with a all right, or whatever. And they're actively mocking him as Aquaman because all he does is go when he's flying or riding or swimming or whatever, and say all right when things happen.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. Great cameo.
So good. And
what a way to end the movie.
Yeah, what a good get.
Yeah,
what a good get.
Because the movie like kind of ends at like a tense state, The guy gets the girl, though, and that kind of eases it, and then boom, right back into some more comedy.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, I know, because I was like, well, this is the wind down. Just him showing up, busting chops, dude. I loved it.
Yeah, Momoa is a great cameo. The visuals in general were fantastic.
Yeah, they were. I told you this in the theater. I was like, they really convinced me that Ryan Gosling did a lot of these stunts when he didn't. When we watched the B-roll, there's a few times I was like, oh, he did do that. And other times where I went, he didn't do that?
Yeah.
Which is a testament to David Leitch know what he's doing.
Yeah, the cinematography was great. I loved the Australian setting. Obviously the Sydney Opera House was gorgeous.
Sure.
The water, that as the backdrop during that epic boat scene.
Yeah. Kind of like, there's like whenever he goes downtown and fights that drug dealer, it's kind of like a Miami-esque, And
he's wearing his Miami Vice jacket the one night.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize
Miami, not the drug night, he's wearing the neon jacket. But the one night when he's going to Tom Ryder's place, he's wearing the Miami Vice jacket.
I love that jacket. I want to get that jacket.
Right?
That's kind of, you know what?
Miami Vice stunt team or
Man, how many comparisons are going to be made between that and his Drive jacket? It's just like also huge.
Probably.
With a scorpion on it or whatever.
But dude, like the set design
Pretty sure he's a stunt driver in that movie too.
The set design, really well done as well.
Yeah. Set design's so good.
The penthouse was awesome. The beach and the movie sets were really well done.
Yeah.
And it goes into, we can jump now to the movie inside the movie. And, the whole premise of getting Gosling there is he's a stuntman and he has this fling with Emily Blunt's character and it fizzles after he has his accident.
Which they didn't even put in the trailers that he has an accident. Yeah. That caught me by surprise.
Yeah. But she wants him back. It's the deceiving thing, the deception. But, following a movie, I love when they do movies inside of movies. I'm a fan of them. I tend to like them.
I like them too. Sometimes it gets a little like, I get it. You make it more worse in the movie so you understand it's a movie.
Doesn't work. Like Scream 3, I didn't love the movie inside the movie thing. I still like that movie more than most. But like this one, I tend to more often than not like movies inside of movies.
Oh yeah, they nailed this one, especially with the whole idea being like it's not only it's really about the filmmaking so much that whenever you see the movie, like me and you both were like, I want to see a Metal Storm movie now. Yeah. But
the movie at the same time does take the back seat to the bigger story.
Sure.
So I think that's why it works so well.
Yeah, I think it was a good balance, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
And they didn't show too much of it, and it's like you get like a 20-second clip, and then it's like a whole 10 minutes of them Gosling smacking into a wall or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just terrific. The set design, you're right, is amazing.
Yeah.
Again, that nightclub scene really reminds me of John Wick 4. Whenever he goes to after the big guy in the suit.
Yeah.
Which was Scott Adkins, another stuntman.
Yeah.
But like that poker scene that goes to like the nightclub, that fight scene really felt like that.
Yeah.
To me,
for sure. They give a lot of praise to stuntmen in this movie. You gotta love that.
Dude, honestly, that might have been the thing that made me happy, is because we already talked about it. Like, they're putting stuntmen in, like, the Oscars next year. That's going to be, stunts is going to be, like, an award now.
Yeah.
And they asked that in the movie, which is very funny.
Yeah.
Which is him, like, man, he called them the hell out with that. Like, do you get an Oscar with that? And he's like, no, they don't do Oscars for that. And just, like, there's so much, like freaking love, man, for stuntman. Yeah. And honestly, after that, it's like, I want to be a stuntman.
Yeah.
I'm like, it looks hard, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
It would be fun. It'd be exhilarating.
It would be fun. My thought was always, I am more agile for a man of my size. So I'm like, so whenever they want a big guy to do a thing, I feel like I'd be good for that.
More agile for a man my size as you sprain your ankle playing basketball.
See, but that's the problem, is I sprained my ankle this week. That's playing basketball.
Stuntman career out.
I didn't stretch. That's different. Stuntmen stretch, Will. They stretch.
A performance we forgot about was the dog.
Yeah. Oh, the dog.
Jean-Claude.
Amazing. Jean-Claude.
Dude, tacky.
It's a funny dog. And also, like, it's just, and also, like, it's been said before, we've all seen movies where there's dogs that are just super well trained. They're super great in the movie. But it's also just a good addition. And that, again, that feels like John Wick.
Yeah.
Anytime
a dog's included.
That's like, that's like a staple of that franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was amazing. And also incorporating him into the fight was a great idea. And then the fight in the penthouse with Winston Duke, the dog is also there.
Yeah. And the dog comes in clutch a lot. Every time there's a gun pointed at them.
And it also makes so much sense that he would know that dog and have chemistry with it and know the attack words and the whole thing and whatever. Stephanie Shu's in this as well.
Yeah.
She doesn't get a lot of time to shine, but, still great. I still want to see her more stuff.
For sure. Another thing I liked about this movie, that, we've already talked about how it praises stuntmen, and it's a movie inside of a movie, but we have our two main characters love to quote other movies, and I thought that was just really fun.
That was fun.
There's fun dialogue, and then we get Rocky when he's first back on the scene. It's not the amount of time. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how many you getting back up.
And you can keep moving forward or whatever.
He kind of butchers it a little bit.
But see, I thought he did too, because I was like, did he say that quote right? Have I been remembering it wrong? I thought that. Thank you.
But the thing is it's funny because I felt like it was you and I, because every time they do a quote from a movie, the other friend guesses the movie, and then they, they're like, that's it, man.
Yeah. And I like that they're doing it in like dire situations. As people are just about to come through the door with guns, they're like, my man.
Yeah.
And they just get to it. Again, chemistry. Oh my God, I want to see those four in a movie. Yeah, it's so funny. So good. Honestly, just not even just for stuntmen. There's just a lot of love for filmmaking.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And it also brings light to things that I also like. I know I'm like, oh yeah, directing a movie, that'd be pretty cool someday. But it also sheds light on one thing, which is that does also not look fun.
Yeah.
In a way too. Because there's, the scene on the beach. Like every time she turns, somebody has a different problem, and it's just problem solving.
You got the pyro guys just shooting off the bombs like nothing's going. Like that's not ruining the budget.
Yeah, and then they're like, who the hell is shooting these off? And then you have like the producer next to her, whose basically job is to make sure things are going the way they're supposed to be going, and he's screaming at people.
I will snap your neck like the little like.
Exactly. And it's like that's another not fun side of things. But like I saw something recently where George Miller was talking about whenever he made the Mad Max films, he's like, somebody told him, like, hey, you should make Mad Max 2. It was like a James Cameron or somebody bigger like that, Spielberg. And he was like, I don't know if I should, man. He's like, I don't think I'm good at this directing thing. My entire time doing this, I was just problem solving. I felt like I wasn't even directing. And they're like, no, that's directing. That was the thing. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just took another stab at it.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. That's a cool story, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Furiosa, man. Another thing this movie does well, it's around the 2-hour mark. It's very well paced.
Yeah,
I was captivated the entire runtime.
I know. There was a few times where I could tell you were like really loving it, and you would like look at me to be like, are you loving this as much as I am? And I'd give you a look here and there, but I didn't do it too much because I was like, one, I want to talk about it after. I want to just be like, dude, I loved it. But also, I was just so locked in, I didn't even care. Yeah. I was locked in.
I was loving every minute of this
movie. I want to watch it again now that we're talking about it.
Oh, I do too.
100%. It's easily rewatchable too.
Oh, this super high replay.
This could be a comfort movie, honestly.
A movie that I compared it to, and I think you've liked the comparison, was The Nice Guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Another Gosling movie. It just is that, action-packed, very intriguing story, very rewatchable, has comedy, has action.
It has heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, those two movies are both...
I think this is even, and I love The Nice Guys. I just bought it on Blu-ray the other day. $3 at Dollar General. Go give it a buy. But
there you go.
All right.
What a find.
$3. But with that being said, and The Nice Guys is like that's a solid 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. I think this is it's better paced.
Yeah.
Because The Nice Guys, like, it can get a little slow. But man, this movie, I mean, they're two different, they're kind of different in the way that they do their things. But man, this...
Yeah, that one has a little more I guess this one has, a non-detective work. That's probably why the pacing feels a little faster. Because it's a stuntman doing the detective work and not two detectives.
Exactly. Also, this is
very similar when you think about it.
They're definitely similar in tone and vibe. And also, Gosling's character is pretty similar. Like, he could keep doing this for the rest of his life, and I'd be fine with it.
Oh, I mean, I'll watch every movie and give it the same score.
He's definitely the kind of guy, if you can't tell, he'll try anything.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to do it all. And another thing, I know this is like a side note that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but another funny thing I want to talk about, there is such an emphasis on sticky notes for no goddamn reason in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Post-it got a little free advertising there.
Oh, my God.
They probably paid some money to say, hey, make
bloody hell.
notes.
It got out of hand a few times. I was like, this is too much to look at.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is obsessed with them.
Yeah, and doesn't look at them clearly. Because he probably is.
And some of them have the most out-of-pocket, like, is it Mamoa or Momoa?
Yeah, I didn't even realize.
Like, some of the sticky notes say this dumbest shit.
Wasn't there something about, like, why is orange chicken Asian or something like that?
Why is Asian chicken orange?
Yes, that's it. It's like... what a dick.
Yeah.
Dude, Aaron Taylor Johnson's so good in this. Like, he's so fun. Yeah. I can't wait. I don't even care. Craven's gonna suck probably, but I can't wait to see him in it. He just needs to be in more stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
He's so great.
Everything he's in.
Isn't it weird to think about how like he was just like a wimpy little scrawny kid, and now he's like
and
rock hard abs. Yeah. And now he's like handsome.
Now he's Craven the Hunter.
What the hell happened to him?
But. Well, I can go on and on with the good man.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to...
We should probably
give it a
step on, huh?
There's one good thing I want to talk about that I forgot about till just now. Whenever Emily Blunt beats the shit out of Ryan Gosling in the alien outfit, dude. Yeah. Oh my... I thought it was going to be Winston Duke under there.
I thought it was too the way... Yeah. But then I don't know.
Yeah, he was wearing a different costume. I just figured he changed or something for whatever reason. But I thought it was him under that. But she just like really laid into him.
Like little leg.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. And like and also
choking him and
dude and like and also like there's a lot of tension in that because honestly there's like a few times which this can be a bad thing, but I wasn't upset that they did it here. There's a few times where I was like, this is the third act climax. And I went, holy God, it's not. And then another thing would happen. I'm like, this is the third act climax. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, it's not. Yeah. And it happened like 3 times. But the final climax being them tricking him into the car, the confession in the car, to do his own stunt.
Yeah.
And like the way they're giving props to stuntmen, the way they're shitting on actors who like think they're too, are getting too big for their britches. And like, so good. Such a good message. Such a good, but just filmed really, really well. And the guy who keeps blowing up the cars, he's like, I love my job. And dude, just awesome. Okay, I'm done. That's awesome.
No, dude, it's a very, very well done film. A lot of good.
I can't believe how good
I don't even have anything in the man and the bad, so I'll leave this up to you. You can jump to whatever section you want to jump to.
The only meh thing I have, I put it in meh because I do like a side of this, is the part where they're on the helicopter and Aaron Taylor Johnson gets the gun and he decides not to shoot Ryan Gosling. The only reason I don't like that is because I'm like, well, you tried to kill him like 6 times and now you won't do it now that you have a loaded gun pointed at him in a helicopter. But on the other hand, the reason why I'm not that mad at it, I love the line that he says whenever she's like, freaking shoot him, what are you doing? He's like, I mean, he's one of the best to do it. I'm never going to find anyone better. Yeah. Like, he's great. And then she's like, for God's sake, and rips it out of his hand.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that it's another, like, stupid, wimpy moment for this hot-headed idiot who's, like, kind of in awe of Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of cool, but it was kind of silly.
I can see what you mean. But I didn't mind it because I kind of felt like the car scene and kind of gave him a realization of what the guy meant to him.
Which you're right. But you're right. Because that was technically his character arc, him being like, I don't want to do my own stunts. Like, this is all you. I don't do my own stunts because that's how it led to that guy being killed and whatever. Like, it makes sense narratively, kind of. It's just like, I wish it was emphasized a little more as to why he didn't do it, I guess. But, like, it's fine. It's not anything that's going to...
He's got a mouthpiece. It's going to mouthpiece.
Why does he get a mouthpiece? Do I need a mouthpiece? That's awesome, man.
good, he's not dead. As he's wearing gloves.
I forgot about that. Yeah, where I'm like, I looked at you and said that. I was like, he's wearing gloves.
Yeah. No, dude. We can hop over to our final thoughts and rating here. What do you want to leave off this film, and what are you rating it out of 10?
Well, first of all, this is so far my second favorite movie of the year. Mm-hmm. I might have put it at second I might have put it at third, but I'm pretty sure I already put it at second in my letterbox. But if I didn't, it's definitely moving up to second the more we talk about it, because what an amazing film. Mm-hmm. And David Leitch, like, the more he keeps pumping out, like, man, this guy's becoming like one of my favorite directors to watch. Yeah. Deadpool 2 is my favorite Deadpool movie. Okay. Actually, it's probably my favorite X-Men movie. Okay. Honestly, it's one of my favorite Marvel movies. Period. It's one of my favorites. Bullet Train, I never understood why anybody hated it. The pacing is off because there's a lot happening. Yeah. But that movie is freaking like 2 hours and nothing but fun. Yeah. And great chemistry. Yeah. Great actors you love to see pop up. And like, it's not always just the hits, you know, you get some lower grade actors sometimes. And it's like, it's great. Mm-hmm. And then especially this one, I can't tell between this or Deadpool. I can't tell which one I even like better. Okay. And if you know me, you know I love Deadpool 2. Yeah, with all my heart, I love Deadpool 2. This is an absolute 9 for me. And I'll probably look closer to a 9.5, honestly. But just what an amazing film. What an amazing way to bring general audiences in and teach them not only something about the film business, but teach them about the value of people like stuntmen, crew. Yeah. Things like that, you know, and also to kind of take a little of a knock at you know, some studios, some actors, managers, producers. Like,
there's a reason credits are like 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that put these shows together.
For sure. And he didn't waste a second to let people know that. Yeah. You know, and it never got annoying. It was never in your face like, bleh, like just great writing, honestly. Yeah. I know he wasn't the sole writer, but it was a great film. For sure. All in all. I think anyone can have fun with this. I implore anyone to watch this movie. Yeah.
For me, I'm going 10. Yeah. It's my favorite movie of the year. I don't blame you. I can tell that this is going to be one I replay quite a bit as the years go on. Sure. It'll be, you know, a day one get for me for the collection. Mm-hmm. Ryan Gosling is the man.
He is the man.
He's the man.
He is the man.
That's all you got to say. Ryan Gosling is the man, dude. Like, there's not much more to it. And the funny part is like, the rest of these performances were so good, too. And I don't know, I just, like you said, I kept looking over at you, smiling. You could tell that I was enjoying this one.
I know. I was so locked in, I couldn't bear myself to take my eyes away from the screen for a second sometimes, but
I was locked in. I was locked in, but I was like a kid in the candy store, man. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
It's not often I see a movie, because even a movie that I'm like loving, I'm like, all right, where are we like getting with this? When are we going to end? This was one where I was like, just keep going.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Just keep swimming.
Oh my God.
But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
What a movie.
Great film. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think your favorite part of the movie was?
Favorite part of the movie?
Personally.
I mean, any time that Winston Duke and Ryan Gosling were on screen together was probably top notch for me. Mm-hmm. Overall scene, though,
it can be anything. The music, soundtrack.
We didn't even talk about the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, dude. The soundtrack. Holy crap! Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
phenomenal.
We get a little Taylor Swift, but
it's all right. It was fine because Ryan Gosling cried in the car to Taylor Swift.
But Against All Odds during karaoke was awesome. Mm-hmm. And when they're filming in front of the Sydney Opera House and it's Believe in a Thing Called Love by Darkness.
Oh, I know that you lit you up.
I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to my heart.
We both, usually the soundtrack only pleases one of us. We both got a piece for us because you got that and I got me some freaking Kiss.
Yeah. You did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the soundtrack was awesome. I can't believe we forgot to talk about that, dude.
Enough for you. And I could tell that they were hinting at that in the score. I was like, no way they were putting the song in here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I Was Made for Loving You is such a good song.
The soundtrack might... I can't believe we forgot about that.
It's probably my favorite soundtrack of the year so far.
I might get the soundtrack too on vinyl.
I wouldn't blame you, man.
Yeah.
Even I looked it up. There's a remix sad, somber version of that song that's in the movie, and it's actually done by Youngblood, which I can't say I care for, but I actually really liked the remix they did. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Gosling and Duke together was probably my favorite part, though. Great chemistry.
That's your favorite part?
Great acting.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah. Amazing chemistry, those two dudes. Just
being bros. For sure. I'm with you. I'd like to see them get those four together. Four.
Oh my God, I'm going to be daydreaming about that.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen, please.
Let's tweet all four of them until...
Everybody tweet at David Leitch. Like, hashtag it or whatever. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ryan Gosling, Ryan Tyree Henry, Winston Duke. Get all those guys together.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, for sure. Man.
What a movie. What's to say?
What's to say?
I still like Dune better. That's what's to say. That's it.
There you go. That'll do it for the Fall Guy. Kory, thanks for coming on, brother.
Pleasure always, buddy.
It was a pleasure watching it with you in the front, not the front row, but the handicap row with your bum ankle, but... We'll have to watch it again in a row.
You only knew the blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, the blood and sweat it took to get into that scene. Exhausting.
But we thank you all for watching. Go check out The Fall Guy. It is well worth the watch, especially in theaters, especially if there's an XD theater nearby. Check it out on the big screen. Get that awesome sound and awesome visuals on the biggest screen you can find.
Sure.
If you like what you're watching here, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. I appreciate whatever you do. I just appreciate you watching, and we will talk to you all soon.
Great. Wait, before we sign off, I have one request of what we do to sign off here.
What?
Stuntman thumbs up.